Good morning. Today on Spotlight, an interview with Oakland County Executive David Coulter. What does he have in store for his county in 2022? We'll ask him. And later on our Sunday morning program, find out how a successful Detroit community organization over on the east side is expanding its reach. Marvis, Cofield, and Stephanie Hammonds of Alkebu-Lan Village will join us. It's Sunday, March the 20th. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. In 3 words or less, the state of Oakland County is what?
In 3 words or less, I would say ready to thrive. We've survived the pandemic as well as we could, but what I was really trying to lay out is a plan for the future, and so I think I'm optimistic, and we're ready to thrive.
Right. Let's talk a bit about economic development before we get into some of the COVID-related stuff, which has been the elephant in the room that you've been navigating through and dealing with. You drove in a Chevy Boat, a sign of things to come in Orion Township there with that GM battery plant.
I mean, that's a game changer. It's the largest single investment that General Motors made in its history, just to put it into perspective, a $4 billion investment at the Orion plant so that they can make electric pickup trucks because electric is the future. And so that was a huge win, not just for Oakland County, I think, but for Michigan, because it really proves that Michigan can compete in the EV manufacturing space with other states. And, the announcement a few months ago got us all a little down, but I think Michigan is still poised to be a leader in that EV space, and the Orion investment just demonstrates that.
The state of Michigan is poised to invest about $854 million in terms of incentives. Your critics would say, are we giving away the store for something that we're not sure yet what it's going to produce long haul? How will you answer those critics?
Well, we've tried to get as specific as we can about what the return on investment will be, and I think it's pretty significant. Look, in a perfect world, states wouldn't have to give incentives to get businesses, but we're up against 49 other states that do that, and those incentives can be a powerful incentive to get business development. And those 2,300 new jobs, as well as saving 1,000 jobs that are currently there, as well as the other economic spinoff from that, I think will more than offset the initial investment by the state.
Mr. County Executive, do you feel as though you're coming out of the pandemic, and what are you hearing from the business community, especially businesses like restaurants that have had a tough time in all of this?
Yeah, as excited as I am about the GM announcement, I will tell you that the small businesses are still the lifeblood of economic development in Oakland County, or in any county, really. More than 90% of our businesses are small businesses, less than 50 employees. And they have had one heck of a time navigating over the last couple of years. We've tried to help as many of them survive as possible with grants and toolkits and all of the things we did. But going forward, we're gonna lean in on our small business community. And one of the things I announced in my State of the County address was a new team of business navigators, 9 people who are going to work not here in our building, but in the communities directly with small businesses, helping them get the resources, the grants, the expertise that will help them be successful.
You have done all sorts of creative things so that people have easy access to vaccination. What seems to be the difficulty in getting from that 64 to that 70?
Well, just to throw a few other numbers at you. Actually, if you take the 12 and over population, we're over 80%, one of the highest in the state. What brings it down is now that children from 5 to 12 are eligible, they're still getting vaccinated, so that brought the percentage overall down. And it's been a challenge to reach that population. You reach them differently, so the strategies have to be differently. But that 5 to 12 population, which is now eligible for the vaccine, which I would encourage folks to get because it's made a huge difference here. But the 12 and up population, we're over 80%, and our seniors over 90%, and that was the most vulnerable group. So we've made some real progress. in some key groups, but we got to get more kids vaccinated for sure.
What have you learned from this pandemic that you didn't know before, but in looking back, there might be a silver lining in all of this, something that you've learned that prepares you for the years ahead?
You know, one of the things I've learned, and I guess I knew this before COVID, but it was really brought to bear during COVID, is that the mental health of our residents is so important. Mental health to me is as important as physical health. And we've all sort of collectively been through this 2-year trauma together. And we really have a mental health crisis going on right now. And we've invested a lot of money in mental health support. The silver lining, as you mentioned to me, is this. There was a stigma associated with mental health issues, I think, before COVID. It's not gone, but I think COVID has really lowered that stigma. People realize now that anyone can have a mental health issue, rich or poor, black or white, rural or city. It can affect anyone in any family. And so I think the attention and awareness of our need to lean in on mental health services is one of the silver linings, Frank.
All right, we need to take a quick little break, a little pause for the cause. We'll come right back with some more questions to the Oakland County Executive, Dave Coulter. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Spotlight, talking to the first Democrat to be elected Oakland County Executive. Of course, before him was Republican L. Brooks Patterson, who was in that seat for, oh Lord, forever. Long period of time. Mr. County Executive, one of the things you did not mention in your State of the City address, at least not in depth in any way, was a regional transit plan. The year before, you talked a great deal about it. Why did you not dive down into that?
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it because I think people who know me understand I'm a transit advocate. I've been a transit advocate my entire public career. I ran on that issue almost 20 years ago as a county commissioner, so it's very important to me. The reason I didn't go into more details of a plan is because those details are still being worked out. You know, this isn't Dave Coulter's plan or Oakland County's. This is, when we do transit, it's going to have to be a regional effort. Mm-hmm. And I can assure people that those conversations are still happening. COVID really knocked us for a loop. You know, the foundation of any kind of transit plan still relies on our bus service, good bus service. So from SMART and DDOT, and they've taken such a hit. Their ridership is not back to the levels that they were before COVID. So they're still navigating those challenges, but I'm as committed to ever as trying to bring transit to this region. But I don't have more details to share yet, so stay tuned is what I would say. But I did make the point that I remain a transit advocate and a believer in what it can do to transform our region.
Sure, and as a public leader, I imagine you're concerned that if they bring this to the people again too soon and they give it a thumbs down as they have in the past, that may be the death knell for it.
Yeah, I don't know how many more bites of the apple that people are going to give us. So I want to make sure that when we put another plan before the voters, it's something that we can get behind and that we think voters will get behind. The last time we put a plan before the Oakland County voters, they voted it down. And I heard a lot of feedback about what they thought was wrong with the plan, the funding. So we got to get this right because, as you said, I don't know how many more bites of the apple we're going to get at this. So we're working on it.
When you say you're working on it, what kind of things can you do in the interim to prepare for when and if that ever comes before the voters again?
Yeah, I think one of the things we can do while we're working on a transit plan is to make sure that our mobility, the mobility plan, which is really for us centered on SMART, and in Detroit it's DDOT, that those organizations are as strong as they can be, that they're offering the services. Because look, you can build a line in a transit system, but it's still going to be SMART and DDOT that rides the routes that take you to that transit, right? And so just making sure that we're supporting SMART, and we're going to have a SMART millage, by the way, on the ballot this year, and I want to make sure the residents understand that and support that because it's critical for them to be strong. So we're working I'm excited about the new director at SMART. I think he's the right guy for the job, and we've been working very closely with them. So making sure we have great mobility options through our bus services is fundamental.
In your mind, has the pandemic accentuated or accented the point of why a regional transit plan might be needed?
Absolutely, absolutely. People need mobility options. That's another thing we knew before COVID, but we've seen it even more so now. And we also know that there's going to be more people working from home, for instance. So maybe the desire for a car or to drive a car downtown or whatever is going to change. So COVID has, it's disrupted all of our lives, and it's certainly disrupted the transportation space. And we got to figure out exactly what that means and how we adapt to that and how we integrate that into our plan.
And one final question along this line. Is it region versus region these days versus cities? And if this region is not competitive in every way, shape, and form, then we might get our clocks cleaned by another region in another state?
Yes, Chuck, you hit it on the head. And I've said that since I took over this job. This isn't Oakland versus Detroit or Wayne or Macomb. This is our region, Metro Detroit. We're all Metro Detroiters, and this is our region against other regions in the country and other regions in the world, frankly. And frankly, on some things like transit, but other things as well, we're falling behind. We're not growing as a region. And so we're in competition with other regions across this country, and we've got to work together more closely and act that way.
All right, Mr. County Executive, one more quick break. Come back with just a couple quick questions, and we'll let you get back to your real job right after this. Mr. County Executive, tremendous amount of publicity in a very sad way when we had the recent Oxford High shootings. That's sort of in our rearview mirror, but the issue is still there. One, are you still getting the school threats that you were receiving before, or has that sort of calmed down?
Fortunately, it's calmed down. It's not gone. There are still incidents, but that high level of threats, which, by the way, people warned us would happen. I guess that's typical after a tragedy like Oxford.
Sure.
It was stunning to me to see how many, but the good news is that that's the number of those incidents has dropped dramatically, thank God.
A number of legislators are trying to work something through the Michigan legislature in terms of gun control or dealing with this issue. Where do you stand on this? And if you could send a message to them, what would it be?
Yeah, I would encourage the legislators to act, to not let this opportunity go by or this tragedy go by without addressing this issue in some way. And I won't be prescriptive. I know that the legislature has a process and they debate these things. I think there's some common sense reforms that we could put in there, making sure that people have to lock up their weapons, for instance, I think makes sense. The red flag laws about letting a judge take a gun away from someone who's mentally unstable, those sort of things are just common sense. And I would strongly encourage the legislature to do something. People are looking for leadership on this issue right now, and we can use this tragedy to demonstrate that we can come together with some common sense solutions.
Quite a debate going on in Lansing in terms of whether or not to eliminate the gas tax. Do you side with the governor on this? She says present something that really is sensible and works rather than a knee-jerk reaction, and she's for it. Others say we got to do something and we got to do something now. Where does Dave Coulter stand?
You know, I'll be honest, Chuck, it strikes me as knee-jerk because we all know that we have to make a bigger investment in our roads. There's no question that our roads need fixing. And the way we fix that is through the gas tax. So pausing that just pauses our efforts on infrastructure. And gas prices, they're terrible right now. But I'm encouraged because a barrel of oil has come down like $20 a barrel in the last couple of weeks, and that should start to reflect at the pump. And so I know that there's been pain at the pump, but I feel like that could be a short-sighted solution when we have this huge need to invest in our roads, and I'm not sure we should take a break from that.
What are you doing in Oakland County to make sure that when people go to the polls this year in a heavy election year, that their vote is secure and that there's not going to be chaos of any type at the voting places?
Our county clerk, Lisa Brown, and our local clerks did an amazing job, in my opinion, of running an election during a pandemic. It was not easy, not only from the health side, but from the polarization and the political stuff that went along with it. But frankly, there wasn't a hint of any evidence in Oakland County that any local community or the county had any issues with voter irregularities. We ran a very good election. They did an awesome job, and I have confidence that they can do it again.
All right, final question, really the final question. We got a big congressional race, 11th district sits out there in Oakland County. You've got two Democrats that are going head to head there, Andy Levin and Haley Stevens. You going to weigh in on this race, or as a Democrat, you just say, you guys duke it out and I'll see you in the general?
Yeah, the trouble with politics sometimes is when your friends are running against each other, right? And that's the position I'm in now. I have known Andy Levin and his family for decades. I've worked really closely with Haley. I think either one of them would represent our county extraordinarily. And I'm going to let the voters have the final say on that one.
All right, that's probably a smart move. All right, Dave Coulter, Oakland County Executive, thanks so much for checking in with us, and we'll stay in touch with you.
My pleasure, Chuck. Good to be with you.
It's good being with you. And when we come back, we'll turn our attention to a grassroots organization on the east side of Detroit that's doing some extraordinary things. We'll be right back. Marvis Cofield and Stephanie Hammonds, thank you for joining me today on Spotlight. Marvis, I'm going to start with you. I've known you a long time. 44 years on making a difference on the east side of Detroit. In a nutshell, what's been the secret?
Consistency and commitment and honesty.
The Alkebu-Lan philosophy on your website says is to live in harmony with self and others by learning and teaching self-respect, self-discipline, self-control, and self-defense. You incorporate all of those elements into the Alkebu-Lan program, correct?
Yes, sir. That's the foundation. And last but not least, self-defense is not just physical, but it's economical, it's social, and it's politically. To be able to rebuild your neighborhood, what we say, one brick, one building, one block at a time. The self-respect is to teach people to know who they are. And once they know who they are, they can feel good about themselves. We put it under the mental, moral, and martial, which is the mental education, formal education, and what we call street smart, and moral is character building, citizenship. And then the martial is physical development to be able to respect others.
Right. Ms. Hammonds, you're the chief legal counsel for Alkebu-Lan Village. You've been with them, I think you told me before we started recording, about 23 years. So that's a long period of time. You got a lot of your training from attorney Greg Reed, who's a fixture in this community. What was it about Alkebu-Lan Village that attracted you to it and has made you stay?
You know what? One of the most important roles for an attorney is to help a client know who they are so they can know what they want. And you have to know yourself first. There was no question when I met Mr. Cofield almost 30 years ago as an associate with Gregory Reed's office that he knew who he was and his mission was clear. Anyone who loves Detroit and who loves children cannot help but be affected and want to help when they meet him.
You're coming up on 45 years next year as well, so that's a milestone. Tell folks what that will entail.
Yes, March the 27th, the last Sunday in this month, is our anniversary, celebrating 44 years. It just ironically falls on that same day. It is a reception, a VIP reception. That means very important people, which is our community, local, state, and national leaders, anyone and everyone who's done some good in the neighborhood. It's a fundraiser. It's going to be Sunday from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and it's virtual. We will be highlighting folks who have given of themselves, their time, their talent, and their treasure. And we need everyone. Over the last 44 years, we've taught and introduced the martial art and our program to over 350,000 young people, adults, and elders. So we think it's worth shouting about.
Ms. Hammonds, as chief legal counsel, how difficult is it these days to be able to keep these type of community organizations afloat in the middle of pandemics and just the competition for the dollar out there?
Well, there have always been challenges financially for nonprofits, but the key is really the spirit and the lifeblood of the organization. There's never been a doubt that Mr. Cofield sits in the driver's seat and has a wonderful supporting staff. He literally takes this to the streets. He is unapologetically seeking dollars. And so pandemic, good times, bad times, his relentless efforts with the support of a magnificent staff and the passion that drives it really makes it possible regardless of the circumstances.
I think you did a YouTube video and it was entitled something like Fresh Air Please. What's that all about?
Well, our young people who will become fathers and mothers and husbands and wives definitely need to be able to live in a non-polluted environment. So we teach them to understand the importance of environmental justice. So I'm excited about being able to have young people to understand that they will have children, and we want them children and their children to grow up in an area where they can breathe fresh air. And on that note, as we celebrate our 44th anniversary, we're doing something different this year. We're going to be honoring a national figure, which is our Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, who made a major difference in making sure that the world knew about George Floyd and the trial. And we thank God that we had someone who was a former Detroiter who understood the need to make sure justice was involved in the process. So once again, he will be one of our honorees. He will be receiving the Alkebu-Lan Villages Social Justice Humanitarian Award. Attorney General Keith Ellison will be online with us, and he will be our national honoree for this year. So we're excited about him, as well as the other community leaders, lawyers, judges, and police officers, all of those who do what they do, because it takes a village.
Absolutely, and it couldn't be better said than how you just put it. And indeed, the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota is a Detroiter, still has a lot of family here. And when he comes in to speak, Marvis, you just got to make sure that he doesn't take a young talent like Miss Hammonds with her legal background and whip her off to Minnesota.
No chance.
Say no way. All right.
No chance.
I'm just kidding with you.
I know.
Marvis Cofield, Attorney Stephanie Hammonds, thank you so much for joining us today on Spotlight. We will put all this information on WXYZ.com. If you go to that, we'll hyperlink it to all of the information at Alkebu-Lan Village, and it'll be easy for you to find. Thank you so much for joining us today on Spotlight, and stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
It's our pleasure. And I'm
Yes,
Chuck
sir.
Stokes. We'll be back next week with more newsmakers in the Spotlight. We hope you have a great week.